I'm finishing up two Vox AC15 Customs. C1, this is the C1 here with the black Tolex and a greenback, and a C1X, which has got the blue Tolex with cream trim and the Celestian blue speaker. Later you'll get to hear both. Everything in the amp is the same except the speaker. This is the board from the blue one. I'm about to go into the blue one, and you can see I've made some changes throughout. No, I'm not going to tell you what they all are. I've discussed the majority of them in previous videos. You can see the two wires here coming up to do the boost switch, and here the boost switch is in place. When adding switches to amps, as much as possible, I like to make it look like it's a stock thing from the factory. So right between the treble and the bass pot, it's got a nice dress collar there, so it doesn't protrude out a lot from the chassis, won't get hit accidentally. There's no label, that's the thing that tells you that it's not factory. But the word top boost is printed right there, so when the switch is towards top boost, it's the stock top boost circuit, and then flip it here, and it goes to boost. Here on the output tube board, I replaced the screen grid resistors. The stock ones are 1 watt 470 ohms, which is not a bad value at all, but they mount it right down against the board because these things are all placed by pick and place machines. So robots actually put the components on there, so they can't elevate it off the board. In a perfect world, that would be fine, but current production EL84s just aren't reliable, and sometimes when they fail, they can cause a screen resistor to burn, and if it's mounted up against the board, it will burn the board. So I've got these 2 watt Vishay 1Ks mounted off the board for some airflow. So if a bad EL84 were to make this fail, any heat would be up in the air, not up against the board. Though with this 2 watt 1K, it's much less likely to ever fail. But with, a fully shorted tube, it can happen. And that can happen with current production EL84s. So this is not really a ding against Vox on this amp so much as just well, I'm in the neighborhood. Let's make that even mo better. Well, I've finished up the second one, the blue one with the Alnico blue speaker. You'll get to hear them in a different video. Before I can put the rear panel on, though, someone in the past has used the wrong hardware, and it makes my job more difficult. Most of the machine screws are all stripped like this one, and don't want to go back into the bushings. Some of the bushings were a little bit damaged because they put the 2 wood screws where the machine screws are supposed to go. And this, with these very coarse threads, does awful things to these little bushings. I was able to save this one, but it was a close call. And they did the classic thing of using a number 2 screwdriver for a screw that takes a number 3 screwdriver. The cross thread is all smoothed out in the corners, and there's a whole bunch of burrs here because it's stripped, and it was over tightened with the wrong screwdriver, which slipped, and it just all marred up. So I've got to go to the local hardware store that carries a wide stock of metric stuff and see if I can get the right things. Otherwise, I'll have to order some from McMaster Car, which is not a problem. It's just nicer if I can get them tomorrow locally so I can button all this up. It's not a big thing, but it's something I want people to be aware of. If you have a machine screw, it has a square end. It's not pointy. A wood screw, in addition to having much coarser threads, is pointy. They are not the same thing. They are not interchangeable. When you take things apart, take a note of what type you have and where they all go. Make drawings for yourself. Write a mini novel, whatever you need to do. Try to get it right. It really does matter in the long-term health of your amp and just, protecting your investment. Anyway, old man rant over. Don't screw up your amp. Thanks for watching.